this video, I'm going to be showing a completely brand new player how the game works. First and foremost, the very first thing any brand new player needs to know, I'm going to start it off a little bit different than what most people would say. Most people will start explaining the pass line just for the simple fact that it's the first thing that basically everybody does, but it's something that's basically self-explanatory, and what I'm going to teach a brand new player is going to open the eyes of the entire game so that it's so much easier to visualize on what's happening. Because when you're looking at everything here, you're looking at all the different ways that you can bet that the dice can roll. So in this game, the shooter rotates between everybody at the table playing and betting, and it rotates at the very end of the roll. I'm going to explain what ends the roll and how the beginning of the roll works here in a second. I want to explain something else first. So first of all, the game revolves around the shooter of the table rolling 2 dice. Now you need to understand that the shooter of the table is going to roll the dice, and everybody that is betting at the table is going to be betting on the shooter's roll. So you could have 8 players on one side of a craps table, another 8 players on another side of a craps table, and then you're rotating between all 16 of those players shooting the dice, and everyone's betting on what that shooter is going to roll. Now, to make it as simple as possible to really understand how craps works, for a brand new beginner, all a brand new player has to know is that these numbers right here, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, and 10, that is the main bets that mostly all of the players are always just going to be betting that will roll. So if anyone at the table decides to bet on any of these numbers, they're just betting that those numbers are going to roll. So for a brand new player, I tell them to focus on everyone is trying to basically roll these numbers up here, and that's basically the entire point of the game. Now that I gave everybody a basic overview of what craps is all about, the simplified version, now I'm not going to go teaching you everything all at once because it only gets too confusing if you're trying to take too much in. So right away, that is like over 50% to 75% of all the game is. Everything else you see is all basically a side bet. So different ways you can bet that the dice are going to roll. That's all it is. Everything else is just different ways that the dice can roll that you can bet on. Now, I am going to go over all of those, but we're going to start simple so you can really start focusing and seeing what's happening and what the entire point of the game is. So now that you know the entire point of the game at a completely beginner basic level, the players are trying to roll these numbers up here, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, and 10. Now, the next most important thing that a new player is going to need to know is if the point is off or if the point is on. And what does it mean if the point is on? What does it mean if the point is off? I'm going to show you. So there are 2 basic ways to bet if you are the shooter, because when you are the shooter of the game, of the dice table, and it's your turn to shoot, the shooter will need to choose either a pass line bet or a don't pass bet. Now, it may seem more confusing than it actually looks for a brand new player, but all you need to know is it's more common that everyone's going to be betting on the pass line. Now, that doesn't mean that you won't see players that are betting the don't pass. Now, let me explain what the pass line is and what the don't pass is. The pass line is betting that you're going to make your point number, and I'm going to explain what your point number is here in a minute, but I want to tell you what the don't pass is. It's the exact opposite. It's like betting red or black on roulette, because the dice can either only go for the pass line or the don't pass every time the shooter's going to roll. So what that means, if everyone is betting on the pass line, and remember, the more common bet you'll see everybody betting is on the pass line. So what the pass line is betting that you're going to basically make numbers, roll numbers. That's why normally everybody wants to bet the pass line, is because everybody wants to roll as many numbers as they can before the roll is over. Now, I'm not going to tell you right away what ends a roll until I demonstrate what's happening. So the don't pass is just betting that the shooter's basically not going to roll numbers and they're not going to pass the point. So I haven't told you what the point is, because the point changes depending on what is rolled on the dice. So if you're betting the pass line, you're betting that you're going to roll numbers. If you're betting the don't pass, you're betting that you're not going to roll numbers. Okay, so let's say, for example, all casinos will have a minimum bet. So most people will play a minimum bet, but it doesn't mean that you can't bet as much as you want or as little as you want, as long as it doesn't exceed or go below the minimum. So I could bet 100 on the pass line. Betting 100 on the pass line is almost the same thing as betting the red or black of roulette. It's either gonna win or it's gonna lose. So for a beginner, you'll always hear the craps dealers tell a new player and a beginner player to bet the minimum on the pass line. So technically we could bet $1 right here, but we're going to just say that the minimum is 10. Because most casinos you go to, the minimum bet on the pass line and the don't pass is going to be a $5 or $10 bet. So once the shooter has decided if he or she wants to play the pass line or the don't pass, now the shooter is going to roll 2 dice. So at the very beginning of a brand new roll, when the shooter first gets the dice, the stick man is going to ship out 5 dice, and the shooter will choose 2 dice. And the only reason that they're shipping out 5 dice is it's just the way casinos are. It doesn't mean that you need to roll 5 dice. You get to choose any 2 dice that you want to roll out of the 5, and that's all that is. And once the shooter chooses what 2 dice they want to roll, then the shooter picks the dice up with one hand over the table and rolls the dice at the other side of the table. Or actually, the shooter will shoot the dice to the other end of the table and try to hit the back wall on the other side of the table. So we're going to roll the dice, because the shooter, let's say the shooter just selected the 2 dice that they want to shoot with. Now the shooter's going to pick them up, shake them, and throw them. They don't have to shake them. They can just pick them up and throw them. The shooters can throw them however they want, as long as they're keeping their one hand over the table on the dice and hitting the back wall at the other side of the table. So everybody throws the dice differently. It's recommended to kind of throw the dice like you're feeding chickens. So that's pretty self-explanatory, but it's still good details for a complete beginner to know. So what's going to happen is when the shooter rolls the dice, the shooter is trying to establish a point. The reason that the shooter is trying to establish a point is because the point is off. Now, if you look at the top left corner of the dice table, you see that off button. It's black and white there. It says off. That's how you know that the point is off, because the point says off. So when the point says off, the shooter needs to establish a point. Now, what does it mean that the shooter needs to establish a point? What it means is that the shooter is going to try to roll a 4, a 5, a 6, an 8, a 9, or a 10. And depending what number they roll, that will be the point that becomes established, or that the point is on. So we're going to roll the dice. So the roll is 10. The point is now established on 10. So see how the point in the top right corner now says on and it's white? It's showing the entire table that the point is on 10. The point is established on 10. Now what that means is the shooter needs to roll a 10 to win on the pass line. So the pass line is betting that you will roll the point that the point is established on. So that point changes depending on what the point goes on to and what point is established by the dice when they are rolled by the shooter. So when the shooter rolls again, now that the point is on, this is where most people are going to go bet on, let's say, these main numbers up here. So these are your main numbers up here. The 4, 5, 6, 8, and the 9. So since the shooter already has a 10, you don't have to bet it there because you're already betting it on the pass line. So you're betting a 10 with that pass line bet. So most people won't bet here if they're already betting here because the point's already on that number. I'll explain that later, but just take basic note of that. So since you already have a bet on 10 with the pass line, you don't need to bet it up here. Now, let's pretend that there are more people betting on all these numbers. There would basically be bets right next to each other in the order that the players are standing at the table. So then it's easy to know whose bet is who, and then when those bets roll, we easily and quickly pay those players that have a bet on those numbers. Now, these are the main numbers that people are going to bet on, and every single time the shooter can roll one of these numbers, anyone that's betting on those numbers will get paid every time they can roll that number. The only number that loses is a 7. So the shooter is basically trying to roll the dice for as long as they can without rolling the 7. Because if they don't roll a 7, the shooter gets to keep rolling the dice and rolling the dice. So you never really know how long or short a roll is going to be. So let's do some more examples to keep it simple. The shooter is going to say, okay, I have all my bets in. I'm ready to roll the dice. So when everybody at the table has all their bets set up and bet, the stick man in the middle of the craps table will send the dice back out to the shooter. Now, since the shooter already selected the 2 dice that they want to shoot with, we're not going to keep sending them 5 dice and having them choose 2 new dice every time they're rolling, as long as the 7 doesn't roll. Because when the 7 rolls, everything starts over and everything loses, and then it goes to the next shooter. And the next shooter will get to choose their own 2 dice out of the 5. So this shooter has already chose their 2 dice, and if they wanted to change the dice that they're rolling, they could tell the stickman, hey, ship me all the dice, and then they can just choose 2 new dice at any time if they wanted to. But automatically, we're going to keep shipping you the same 2 dice that you chose at the start. So let's just say that the shooter gets the dice and starts rolling it. So the shooter picks up the dice, shakes them up, and throws them to the other side of the table to see what they roll. Now let's see what the shooter rolls. The roll is 8. Now, you see how the dice right there say 6 and 2. That is 8, because when you add 6 plus 2, it's 8. And that's how the dice are determined on what number has been rolled. So the 8 has been rolled. If you look in the bottom right corner, it says win right next to the clear button right here. You see how I'm highlighting that clear button? See to the right of it, it says win, $14. So since there is a $12 bet on the 8 and the 8 was rolled, a $12 bet on the 8 pays 14. So that's why it says win $14. Now we're going to roll the dice again. So we're going to pretend like everybody at the table that was betting on the 8 has already been paid and they're ready to see what the next roll is going to be that the shooter can roll. So now the shooter picks up the dice again and rolls the dice. The roll is hard 8. Now notice how it's a pair. When you see a pair, a 4 and a 4, it's called hard. But it's a hard 8 because it was an 8. So if you see here, that's a hard 8. Let's say that you were to bet $1 on all of those pairs. Those bets stay up unless you roll the other way the 8 can roll. So if the 8 rolls 6-2 or 5-3, if you're betting $1 on the hard 8, it loses. And that's the only time it loses unless it's a 7. Now if it rolls hard and you have $1 bet on the hard 8, every time the shooter can roll a hard 8, and if anybody has a bet on the hard 8, it does pay 9-1. So what that means is if you had $1 bet on this hard 8, and then the shooter rolls that hard 8, it will pay $9. Same bet. And that means winning bets stay up to win. They don't lose. They don't come down unless the player says, I want my bet down. The player can come down on their bets. The only bets players cannot come down on are the pass line. There are a few other bets, but we're going to keep it simple for now. And that is the only bet the players cannot come down on is the pass line. The pass line has to either make the 10 or not make the 10. That's why it's called the pass line. You're betting to make it past the point number that the point is on. So the shooter needs to roll a 10 in order to win on the pass line. And if the point is off, your bet is no longer contracted. It doesn't have to stay there. But as the shooter, you need a pass line or a don't pass bet to actually roll the dice. Otherwise, the shooter can pass the dice to the next player. Now, since we are getting a better idea of what's going on, we're going to roll the dice a little bit quicker. Now, everybody at the table got paid, and then now that's the second time that the 8 has rolled. So, everyone that was betting on the 8 for that first time and the second time, let's say that they're betting $12. They're going to get paid $14 every time they can roll that 8. And if they can keep rolling the 8, even if it's every other roll, every time that they can roll that 8, and if they have a $12 bet on it, it always pays $14. That's if you're betting it up here. And like I said, remember, that's the main part of the game, and those are the main bets of the game, are up here. So the shooter wants to roll any of these numbers up here, because I call those the good numbers, and basically the numbers that the entire game revolves around. So anytime the shooter can roll any of the numbers that you see up here, those are good numbers, and those are called place bets. So a player might say, place me on the 8, and then throw down their bet, and then their bet will be placed on that 8. Or they can say, place me on the 6 and the 8, and then they'll throw down, let's say, $12, and the dealer will set up their bet on the 6 and the 8. Now let's say that the player says, I want all of the numbers. The player can throw down 27 across here, because if you bet a 4, 5, or a 9, it's only $5. So on the 5 and the 9, every $5 pays 7. So a $10 bet pays 14 on the 5 or the 9. And every $6 on the 6 or 8 pays $7. So that's why a $12 bet on the 6 or 8 pays 14. Because every $6 that they bet on the 6 or the 8 pays $7. Now, if you're betting on the 4 or the 10 up here on a place bet, every $5 pays $9. So if you bet $10 on a 4, and if they roll the 4, it pays $18. Because every $5 on the 4 or the 10 pays $9. And that's what they will always pay. Those bets never change. They are always the same. Now, let's keep rolling the dice to see what the shooter rolls, because whatever the shooter rolls determines what bets get paid, or potentially what bets will lose. Because if they roll the 7, everybody that's betting anything on the place bets will lose. Now let's roll the dice and see what happens. 7. Did you see how all of the bets went down, and even the pass line? What that is called a 7 out. So as soon as the shooter 7s out or rolls a 7 while the point is on, when the point is on a number, all bets lose that players have bet. So what that means is the entire game starts completely over. Now let's pretend that there's 4 or 5 players at the table. The stick man would grab the dice, pull it back to the middle, and send out 5 dice to the next shooter, and it goes in a clockwise rotation. So let's say that the next shooter picks out their 2 dice that they want to throw, and now they're going to need to establish a point number first. Now you need to understand, if the point is off, if there are any place bets that are made, those bets do not win or lose if the point is off. It's only when the point is on that those bets pay or lose. So remember, if the point is off, these bets up here do not pay or lose. If the point is on, then the bets up here, the place bets, win or lose. So the new shooter just chose their dice, and they're going to try to get a point number. I didn't explain to you that if they don't roll one of those point numbers when they're trying to get onto a point, it's either going to be a 7 or 11. So what that means is anybody that's on the pass line, if the shooter rolls 7 or 11 while the point is off, everyone on the pass line automatically wins. The pass line bet pays 1-1. It always pays 1-1. The don't pass bet pays 1-1, and it always pays 1-1. So if the shooter rolls a 7 or 11, the pass line is going to pay 1-1 for everybody that bets on the pass line. The only other numbers that can roll besides the point numbers and 7-11 are 2, 3, and 12. Now, if the shooter rolls a 2, a 3, or a 12 while the point is off, everybody that is betting the pass line will lose right away. And then they will generally just place another pass line bet. And they're trying to get onto a point number, which is any of the numbers up here. Any of the place bets. These are called the place bets. The 4, the 5, the 6, the 8, the 9, and the 10. So we're going to roll the dice and see what happens. 7-11, everybody on the pass line wins. 2, 3, or 12, everybody loses. If they roll any other number, it's going to be a point number. A 4, a 5, a 6, an 8, a 9, or a 10. So the shooter rolled 3. Did you see how the bet disappeared? That's because 2, 3, or 12 loses on the pass line if the point is off. So if there were 10 players on the pass line, everybody on the pass line would have lost, and the dealer would grab all the bets on the pass line that lost. And when the dealer takes bets that lose, they just lock those bets up into the house bankroll, and you'll see that the house money is sitting right there by the dealers, because when they pay a bet, they take the money out of the house bankroll and pay the player. And when the players lose a bet, they take the player's money and put it into the house bankroll. So basically, the dealer just took everybody's money that was on the pass line and put it in the bankroll, the house bankroll. They lock it up. And the dealers don't have to keep track of that. They just have to grab the bets and keep the game moving as quickly as they can. So now the shooter needs another pass line bet or a don't pass bet in order to keep shooting the dice. Otherwise, it goes to the next shooter that wants to shoot the dice. And it goes in a clockwise rotation. Now, if everybody passes, everybody can keep passing, and then it can go to whoever wants to shoot if everybody passes. But if the next person in line doesn't pass, they are the next shooter. Now, since the shooter lost when the point was off, they get to keep shooting. The shooter only loses, and the roll only goes to the next shooter if the point is on and they roll a 7, which is called a 7 out. So only when the shooter 7's out does the game start completely over. So the game is not starting completely over, but everybody's going to start over on the pass line. There it is again. 2, 3, or 12 loses when the point is off. Now, remember, the shooter did not 7 out because the point was not on a number. So the shooter gets to keep shooting. Let's just say that they're going to keep putting up a pass line bet, which is the most common thing that you'll see a shooter do at a craps table. They normally just want to play the pass line and place bets. And remember, the place bets are the 4, the 5, the 6, the 8, the 9, and the 10. Now the shooter is going to still try to get a point. We're going to roll the dice. The shooter has rolled a 10. The point is 10. So remember, whatever the point is on, look where the on button is at the top right, right by the 10 there. That is the point. The point is 10. The shooter needs to roll a 10 for everybody to win that is betting on the pass line. Now, since the point is on, this is the time players will normally bet, let's do 1 unit so then it's not so confusing. That is when most players are going to choose a couple of these numbers, or you can bet all of them. You don't have to bet all of them. You could bet the 6, the 8, and the 9 if you wanted to. You could bet just the 6 and the 8 if you wanted to. You could bet just the 6 if you wanted to. You could bet just the point if you wanted to. You could just keep rolling the dice trying to make a point of 10 if that's all you wanted to bet. Now, most people will do a 5 or a 9, a 5, 9, and a 4. Some players will bet all of them. Some players will just bet 6 and the 8 and try to make the point. It doesn't matter. It depends on the player because everybody bets different. Okay, so let's just say that the shooter is betting all of the numbers. They're betting the 4, the 5, the 6, the 8, and the 9. And they already have their bet locked in on the 10. So that bet will either win or it will lose. So that means the shooter will either roll a 7 before the 10 or roll the 10 before the 7. So let's figure out if the shooter can make the point, because the shooter is mostly trying to make the point. Although, if they're betting on these numbers too, they're trying to roll those numbers too. So the roll was 5. Notice how it says win $7. Because you have to bet it in those increments of 5 or 6. It just depends if you're betting a 4, 5, 9, or a 10, or a 6 or an 8. So 4, 5, 9, or 10, you have to bet in $5 units. On a 6 and 8, you have to bet it in $6 units. So a $5 5 will pay $7 every time the shooter can roll the 5. And they are going to pay everybody that can roll, that is betting on the 5. Or everybody that is betting on whatever number that rolls. So there may be 6 people betting on one number. There may be 3 people betting on one number. There may be 1 person betting on one number. For right now, we're just going to focus on the shooter's bets. Alright, so the shooter has all of the numbers, including the point of 10, which makes it all of the numbers. The shooter rolls a 5 again. So remember, as many times as they can roll a 5, if they have a bet on the 5, it's going to pay $7. The shooter just rolled a hard 8. Now, no one was betting on the hard 8, so nobody gets paid on it. But if anybody was betting on the hard 8, it pays 9 to 1. So $1 on a hard 8, if it rolls, pays $9. And winning bets stay up to win. So if someone would have been betting $1 hard 8, their bet would still be up there, and every time they can roll a hard 8, it's going to pay $9. So, for example, if the shooter is able to roll 5 hard 8s, and a player has $1 on that hard 8 every time, it's going to pay $9 every time they keep rolling the hard 8. Let's go to the next roll and see what happens. It's an easy 8. So an easy 8 is if it doesn't roll hard. So that would mean if a player was betting $1 on the hard 8, it would have lost. Because a 7 or an easy 8 loses if you're betting a hard 8. That's how the hard ways work. Let's continue rolling, and I'm not going to get into these bets just yet. I'm keeping it focused on the main part of the game, which are the place bets and the point number. That is a 7 out. The player has 7 out. That means all the bets lose, and then it goes to a new shooter. Let's keep it rolling so we can get a little bit of practice and experience in and get the flow of what's happening in the game. So remember, we have a new shooter that is going to try to establish a point. 4. Now the point is 4. So as you can see, you never know what the point is actually going to be because it depends what rolls on the dice. So since the roll was 4, when the point's off, remember, when the point's off, whatever rolls next is what the point is. And remember, as soon as the point goes on, that's when all of the players at the table take a minute or two to place all their bets. So let's say that the shooter wants to bet the 5, the 6, the 8, and the 9. Remember, the 6 and the 8, you have to bet $6 to win $7. The 5 and the 9, you have to bet $5 to win $7. Let's also throw a 10 out there so then we can bet all of them. And remember, the 10 and the 4 pay $9. If you bet $5 on a 10, it pays $9 if it rolls. Now let's go to the next roll. Let's pretend that everybody at the table has all their bets ready because the stick man that sends the dice out is keeping control of the game and pace of the game, and then he's going to wait. He or she's going to wait until all of the bets have been made by all of the players until he sends the dice back out to the shooter to see what the shooter is going to roll. Remember, when the shooter rolls the dice, the stick man is going to call the number that is rolled and bring those dice back to the middle and wait till all of the bets are paid or everything is finished, because if it's a 7 out, the stick man is going to wait until all of the bets are cleared. 4, hard 4, it's a front line winner. It's called a front line winner when the point is made. So all it means when you hear front line winner 4, pay the line, is that the point was rolled. The point was made. So instead of 7 out, you hear 4, front line winner 4, pay the line. So the point was made. At this point, the shooter can come down on their bet because their bet is only contracted once the point goes on to a number, and it either has to win or lose. So let's say that the shooter's just going to keep shooting the dice, because that's the entire point of the game, is to see how long the shooter can keep rolling the dice. So let's see here. The shooter is going to try to get another point. And the shooter wants to make as many points as they can make. The more points that the shooter can make, generally the better, because most players are going to bet that numbers are going to roll. Some players are going to bet for the 7 out, but it's not very common, and this is a way more simple and basic way to learn the game is if you're looking at the players betting to roll numbers, because that's what normally everybody wants to do. And that's why if you ever walk by a craps table, you may hear everybody at the table screaming, is normally because they're rolling a lot of good numbers. And remember, the good numbers are the numbers that keep paying. And the good numbers are the 4, the 5, the 6, the 8, the 9, and 10. That's what most people are always going to keep betting on. Now, do you see how an off button is on all of the bets on the place numbers? The place bets, they're called place bets. That means those bets are off. They don't win or lose if the shooter rolls that number when they're trying to get a point. So basically, when the point is off, all of the bets are off. When the point is on, all of the numbers are on. So since the point is off, all of the bets are off. The only bet that's working right now is the pass line. 7, front line winner 7. Now, since the point was off, it's a winner on the pass line. And remember, those place bets were not working. They were not on. They can't win or lose if those bets are off. So remember, 7-11, when the point is off, the shooter wins on the pass line. 2, 3, or 12, the shooter loses on the pass line. Otherwise, there's a new point established. 12, remember, 2, 3, or 12 loses when the point is off. The point is 5. So everyone on the pass line is trying to roll a 5 to win on the pass line. Let's see what happens. And remember, I haven't told all of the aspects of the game just yet, because when you can understand this basic part of it, all the other stuff is a lot easier to understand. So don't pay attention to any of this other stuff, even the hard 8, even any of the hard ways here. Just don't even pay attention to any of those bets, because they're mostly insurance bets. And the next bet I'll teach you about is the field, just because it's a really simple bet, and it's another bet that people like to play. But it has a really high house advantage, so it's really not as good as the bets up here. So I'll explain the field here in a minute. So remember, we're betting all of the numbers because the 5 is on the pass line, because the point is on 5. So the pass line is 5. 7 out. And you never know how quick you're going to 7 out or not. It could be a long roll, it could be a short roll. So remember, everything loses, everything starts over, and it goes to the next shooter. Now, if there was only one player at the table, the same shooter is just going to keep getting the dice. So let's just pretend that there's only one shooter at the table right now, so then it makes more sense. So the shooter gets the dice and is going to start rolling again. Again, the point is off. They're going to try to get a point number. 4. They rolled a point of 4. So now everybody, or the shooter, is trying to roll a 4 to win on the pass line. And now the shooter is going to make their bets if they want any. They don't have to make any other bets. They can just roll for the 4 if that's all they want to bet. But let's say that the shooter wants to bet all of the numbers, so we can get an idea of the flow of the game. So the dealer or the player bets all of the numbers, and he's going to roll the dice, he or she. So the shooter rolled a 6. Remember, every $6 pays 7 on a 6 or an 8. Every time they can roll a 6 or an 8 with a bet on it. 10. So a $5 10 pays $9. Every time, it says $9.75 because it's saying it's a buy bet, but just consider it's a place bet. Don't get confused. Basically, a buy bet is a special type of bet that you can make on the 10 or the 4. But normally, if you're just doing a $5 bet, you can't buy it. It's just going to be a place bet, and that means it's only going to pay $9. So you see how it says it won $9.75? At most casinos, or basically all casinos, it's just going to be 9. So just kind of ignore that win down there. That was just so that you can kind of remember that it's paying out when that number is rolling. Okay, so let's see here. We're going to roll the dice again. 6. Every time that 6 rolls, it's going to pay $7 for a $6 bet. 7 out. Everything loses and it all starts over. Let's go a little bit quicker so you can start getting the feel for the game. Coming out. I'm a stick man, so I deal craps, so I'm going to do a stick call as if I was the stick man shipping the shooter the dice. So what I would do is say, C&D, any 7, any high-low horn bets, play, or actually I would say, C&D, any 7, any high-low horn bets or bonus bets. And that's just advertising bets, because when we're dealing the game, we're trying to sell bets, basically, and get bets out of players if they want to bet. So we're just reminding them of all the other bets they can make. So you may not even know what I'm saying when I'm saying C&D, any 7, any high-low horn bet. But just know that they're bets that players can make. And I'm not going to go into those bets right now because that's the second part of learning the game. So as soon as everybody has made their bets, then the stickman is going to say, coming out, new shooter. And then I will ship out the dice to the new shooter, and the shooter is going to get ready to roll the dice. And now let's say that the shooter got the dice and they're going to roll it. So remember, I say coming out. It's called the coming out. When you're trying to establish a point, when the point is off, it's called the come out roll. So the stickman says the coming out, or we're coming out with a new shooter. Get ready. Hands high, everybody. So here we go. The coming out. 7. Frontline winner. 7. Pay the line. So that just means 7. Frontline winner. That means pay the pass line. So when I say pay the line, everybody that's playing the pass line gets paid. 7. Frontline winner. 7. Take the don't pass and pay the line. 5. No field. 5. The point is 5. Place your bets. Place bets, come bets, field bets, hard way bets. Throw in all your bets while the dice are in the middle. That is a standard stick call. And once all of the bets are made, remember the stickman has just announced to throw in all of your bets while the dice are in the middle. Because when the dice are shipped out to the shooter, that's when there are no more bets. Players can't make late bets. It's called a late bet if you're trying to make a bet when the shooter has the dice. So all of the bets are made. I'm going to ship the dice out. And at this point, the stickman just ships the dice out. And the only other thing that the stickman is really going to say is hands high, hands high. if there are anybody that have their hands in the way of the table, and if they might actually hit the dice when they're going to roll and land on the other side. So right now, all I'm really looking for is to make sure nobody has their hands in the way. And I'm also going to say no more bets, and then ship the dice out right after I say no more bets. No more bets. Hands high. 6. Easy 6. No field 6. So that's just saying that the 6 was rolled, and everybody that bets on the 6 gets paid. Now we're going to really start speeding it up because I've already explained in full detail what's really going on. So if you need to rewind and get a refresher on anything, now's the time to just rewind the video and watch it over, or just watch over anything that you don't understand. Because I'm going to start calling the dice like I would at a normal craps game. And remember, when I'm sending dice and pacing the game, I'm moving the game as quickly as possible. As soon as the bets get paid, I'm ready to ship the dice out again, ship the dice out again, ship the dice out again, ship the dice out again. So here we go. No more bets. Well, I normally will only announce no more bets the first time, because once everybody has all their bets locked in, you really don't have to keep saying no more bets. So you just keep shipping the dice out and sending the dice out. So at this point, I'm just going to send the dice out. And if there was anybody with their hands in the way, I would basically announce to them, hands high, keep your hands high, hands high. So you'll always hear the stick man saying, hands high, hands high, hands high. Because we don't want any interference with what the dice is going to land on from some player at the table. So you may hear hands high a lot. But if nobody has their hands in the way, I'm not going to keep saying hands high, unless maybe it's a fully packed table and it's crazy, and then it's like you just kind of have to just say hands high every time so that everybody's kind of under control. So it's kind of a way to get the table under control. Hands high. The dice are out. 8. Easy 8, no field 8. $6 8 pays 7. Hands high, the dice are out. 7 out, line away, don'ts to pay, last come get some, all working bets have action, and pay behind. Now I'm not going to explain what the full stick call is, but that's what a full stick call is, which is basically just saying everything that just happened and every bet that either won or lost, what is supposed to happen to every bet that wins or loses. And it's just what the stickman does. Alright, 7 out, line away, new shooter, coming out. C&D, any 7, any high-low horn bets. Place your bets. We are coming out. New shooter. 3, line away, 3. Pay the don't pass and take the line. So at this point, 2, 3, and 12 lose when the point is off. 10, easy 10. I forgot my pass line bet. So let's just pretend that there's actually some other shooter with the pass line bet. So 10, easy 10, the point is 10. Place all of your bets while the dice are in the middle. Place bets, field bets, come bets, hard way bets. Place your bets. So everybody has placed their bets. And hands high, the dice are rolling. That's another thing I may say is the dice are rolling, or the dice are out, which means the shooter has the dice. 8, easy 8, no field 8. Don't and comes travel to the 8. Every $6 on the 8 pays 7. 9, center field 9. Don't send comes travel to the 9. Every $5 pays $7 on a 5 or 9. Dice are out, shooter's got the dice, hands high. Yo 11. Yo 11 again, back to back yo 11. 8, easy 8, no field 8. Every $6 on the 8 pays $7. Now, you may be wondering, well, what happens with that yo 11? Nothing happens. When the point is on, 2, 3, or 12, or 11 doesn't do anything, unless someone's betting the field. If they're betting the field, the 2, the 3, and the 11 or 12 pays, and the 2 or the 12 pays double. But we're not going to cover the field in this episode. I'm going to go over that in the next one to go over all the other bets. Hands high, the dice are out. Shooter's got the dice. 9, center field 9. Remember, every $5 pays $7 on the 5 and the 9. 5, no field 5. Every $5 pays $7 on the 5 and the 9. 3. Come away, single the field. So the field would have won. And remember, that doesn't do anything. The shooter keeps rolling the dice. 8, easy 8. Every $6 pays 7. 7 out, line away. Coming out with a new shooter. Place your bet, C&D, any 7, any high, low, horn bet. And we are coming out, new shooter. 5, no field 5, the point is 5. Place your bets. Place bets, field bets, come bets, hard way bets. Place your bets. Eight, easy 8. Every $6 pays 7. Hands high, the dice are out. The shooter's looking for a 5. 5, front line winner 5. Pay the line. So the pass line wins. That's what it means when I say pay the line. Everybody on the pass line wins. 4, easy 4. The point is 4. Place your bets. Hands high, the shooter has the dice. 10, hard. Every 5 pays 9 on the 10 or the 4. 5, no field 5. 10, hard 10. Hands high, the dice are rolling. Shooter has the dice. 7 out, line away. Remember, line away means everybody on the pass line loses. And we are coming out with a new shooter. C&D, any 7, any high, low, horn bet. Coming out with a new shooter. 8, hard 8. The point is 8. Place bets, field bets, come bets, hard way bets. Place all of your bets while the dice are in the middle. And the shooter has the dice. Hands high. 4, easy 4. Hands high, the dice are rolling. 10, easy 10. Keep those dice rolling. Hands high. 10, hard 10. 6, easy 6. 3, craps 3. That would have been a winner in the field. Other than that, it doesn't do anything. 6, easy 6. 8, easy 8, front line, winner 8. Pay the line. So the point was made. And we are coming out with the same good shooter. 7, front line, winner 7. Pay the line. So remember, when the point's off, the pass line wins. on 7 or 11. 2, 3, or 12 loses only if the point is off, though. So that was not a 7 out. It's only a 7 out if the point is on. 8, easy 8. The point is 8. Place all your bets while the dice are in the middle. And hands high, the dice are rolling. 10, easy 10. 9, center field. 9, center field. 9, center field, 9. That's 3 9s in a row. Does anybody want to bet on that 9 or press the 9? So if I ask if anybody wants to press their bets, that means does anybody want to bet more? If they already had a bet on it. So the stick man might ask the table, does anybody want to press that 9? It just rolled 3 times. 6, easy. 9, center field 9. That's just another 9. That's 4 9s already. 6, hard. You might be too late on that 9. 10, easy 10. 7, 7 out, line away. We are coming out with a new shooter. 6, easy 6. Place all of your bets while the dice are in the middle. Place bets, field bets, come bets, or hard ways. Hands high, the dice are out. 12, craps. That would have been a winner in the field. Other than that, it doesn't do anything. That's because the point is on. It's only if the point was off, it would have lost on the pass line. 5, no field 5. 8, easy 8. 7, 7 out, line away. Coming out with a new shooter. Place your bets. 4, easy 4. The point is 4. Place all your bets. Hands high, the shooter has the dice. 10, easy 10. 6, easy 6. 7, 7 out, line away, don'ts to pay. Coming out with a new shooter. 2, crap 2, line away 2. Remember, line away loses when the point is off. 10, hard 10. The point is 10. Place your bets while the dice are in the middle. Hands high, shooter's got the dice. 7, 7 out. That's a tough roll. That is a point doink. That's as bad as it gets. We are coming out. New shooter. 9, center field 9. Point is 9. Place your bets. And the shooter has the dice. Hands high. 3, craps. 4, hard 4. 6, hard. Yo, 11. 2, craps. 6, hard. Yo, 11. 8, easy 8. 6, easy. 7, 7 out, line away. Coming out with a new shooter. 12, craps 12, line away 12. Remember, 2, 3, and 12 lose when the point is off. Yo, 11, front line winner, pay the line. 7, 11 wins when the point is off. 6, hard, the point is 6. Place your bets. And hands high, the dice are out. 10, hard 10. 7, 7 out, line away. New shooter coming out. 8, easy 8. Point is 8. Place your bets. Hands high, the shooter's got the dice. 5, no field. 8, easy 8. Front line winner 8. The shooter passed the point because the point was 8. Remember, the point's off, so we're going to go for a new point. Coming out, same good shooter. Remember, The coming out is the brand new roll when the point is off. It's called the coming out. It's called the come out roll. 4 easy, and I forgot to mention 8 easy 8. The point is 8. And then we're going to pretend the 4 just rolled again. 4 easy. 7 out, line away. New shooter coming out. I'm going to ship the dice as quick as I can to give you an example of how quickly the game could go if everybody knows everything that's going on. Coming out with the new shooter. 4 easy 4. The point is 4. Hands high. The shooter has the dice. 4 easy 4. Front line winner 4. Pay the line. Coming out. 7. Front line winner 7. Pay the line. 4 hard 4. We're back on the 4. The point is 4. The bets are already ready. Hands high. 8 easy 8. 6 easy. Yo 11. They call yo 11. They call it yo because 11 sounds like 7, and then people will normally confuse 11 and 7. 3 craps. 6 hard. 5 no field 5. 8 easy 8. 5 no field 5. The roll is heating up. 12 craps. That doesn't hurt anybody because the point was on. 8 easy 8. 7 out. That was still a nice roll, shooter. We are coming out next, shooter. 3 craps 3. Coming out. 10 easy 10. Place your bets. 12. So if I don't say anything and I just roll the dice, that means that I just ship the dice to the shooter without saying anything. Because if I don't have to control the crowd and keep them under control, I'm just going to keep moving the game quicker and quicker as fast as I can move the game without delaying the game. Trying to get as many rolls as I can. 4 easy 4. Yo 11. 10 easy 10. Front line winner 10. Pay the line. We are coming out. 5 no field 5. So the shooter's going to move his 5 to the 10 because he already has the 5. He or she already has the 5 on the pass line. 6 easy. Yo 11. 6 easy. 7 out. New shooter coming out 2. Line away 2. So 2, 3, or 12 loses because the point's off. 6 hard. The point is 6. Place your bets. 8 easy 8. 8 hard. 8 hard. Back to back. 7 out. Line away. Coming out. New shooter. 10 hard 10. Place your bets. 8 hard 8. 8 easy. Yo 11. 10 easy 10. Front line winner 10. Pay the line. Coming out. Remember, coming out means the coming out. And we're basically trying to establish another point. So it's always called the come out roll. So when I say coming out, I'll normally say coming out, same shooter. But sometimes I'll only say coming out. 5, no field 5. 9, center field. 4, easy 4. 9, center field 9. Shooter's looking for that 5. Roll the 5, shooter. 7 out, line away. Coming out, new shooter. 3, line away 3. So 2, 3, or 12 loses because the point's off. Coming out. 7, front line winner 7. Pay the line. 7 or 11 wins because the point's off. 6, easy. The point is 6. Place your bets. 9, center field. Yo, 11. 7, 7 out, line away, coming out, new shooter. 8, easy 8, the point is 8. Place your bets. 3, craps. 7, 7 out, line away, coming out, new shooter. 8, hard 8, point is 8. Place your bets. 3, craps 3. 7, 7 out, line away. And that's going to wrap this video up for the basics of craps. In my next episode, I'll give you an overview of all the other bets